Greetings. This is another episode of Dave Bazan's Garage, and what we have here is a unique car for my show because it is not American and it is not very, not very common. It's not the type of car you can go out and buy easily. It's a McLaren Speedtail, and McLaren is a car company that comes out with car after car after car based on basically maybe one car, but they do it so successfully that when I looked earlier today at the original McLaren of 15 years ago or so, of this, generation, it looked entirely different. So they know what they're doing. The Speedtail has a little extra length to the back, hence the name Speedtail, and it really looks nice. I mean, you're going to have a car that looks like a concept car, and in the plan view, it really comes to light. I mean, it narrows, tapers in the back. It's like a teardrop. The front is, very short, like mid-engine cars, and it's got bulges for the front wheels, and it really just it swings. And it's supposedly a British car, and the British car market went through a big change. It's no longer Minis and MGs and Rolls-Royce and Triumph. All those cars are either out of existence or they're taken over by another company based out of another country, Land Rover, Jaguar. But the cottage industry cars seem to be what England does and is able to do, where other countries like America, we don't have cottage industry cars. We have customizers and guys that blow out 700 horsepower cars into 1500 horsepower cars, toy cars. In England, they actually do cars that are there for the long haul, ones that that are genuine cars that have their own bodies, their own engines, and they're not trying to give people a car that's already out a little extra power or a lot of extra power. They're actually making what they call in England bespoke cars, and it's a good thing. And I bought this Speedtail probably I don't know, the drugstore or whatever, and maybe Walmart. And I was glad to find it because, as far as I'm concerned, I'm not this type of a guy. I almost shy away from these, thinking, my interest in cars isn't supercars or these, Fantasia cars. I mean, it's really sedans and regular people cars. But this actually breaches that because it, as you can see, is not overdone. There's no spoilers on it. There's no crazy scoops on it. It's a very clean car. Who did McLaren style this for? Maybe they styled it for me. I just got to catch up financially in order to be able to go out and order one. But I do have one. I have this one here. I mean, you figure it this way. If I owned the real one, I'd drive it once in a great while. It would cost me a lot of insurance, a lot of upkeep, a lot of maintenance. And one day I would have to sell it, and I'd probably not get much for it. And what I would think to myself is, why was this so important? But for 99 cents, you can pretty much own one, and you look at these views of it. I mean, it's right in your own home. I mean, it's not in the garage. It's where it really comes to life. So the McLaren Speedtail is in my collection, I'm happy to say. Now, what we have here, we always go back on my other cars. Do it real quick this time. You can see, I don't have to name them. I mean, you know what we got here. You've been following the show. It's quite a garage. Now, there may be more cars hanging out in places I don't know about. There may not be, but you just never know. Now, McLaren made a car back in the 90s that was the ultimate car. Some people still say it's the ultimate car. The steering wheel was in the center. Where's the steering wheel on this one? Maybe, yes, this one's in the center too. This one doesn't have the chops because I think that the McLaren from the 90s won Le Mans, or Le Mans as they say, Le Mans. I mean, why would you put an S at it if you weren't going to say it? And why would you have an A in it if you're going to pronounce it as an O? That's part of the drill I just can't answer for. But the fact is that this car didn't really go racing in the same way. It doesn't have that same sort of record. It's not, unique in its time. It goes along with the Ferraris and the Lamborghinis. And what you have to have, I believe, and I think this one has, in order to make, your reputation in cars. I think you have to have your own engine. The Panzanini or whatever uses a bought engine. I mean, a car without its own engine just doesn't do it for people. I mean, Lotus used Toyota engines, and they said, oh, why wouldn't we give you the best engine? Well, if you're a car company, you should be making engines, not defaulting to your competition. But that's neither here nor there. I mean, I wouldn't buy a Lotus under any circumstance because I don't have the money, I don't have the interest. I do respect them. I mean, their big thing when their owner or their original founder was there was lightweight more than just power. He said, you really want to lose weight rather than, build this heavy car that you have to have a huge capacity engine for. Of course, the best of both worlds might just be the huge engine and the lightweight car. But, we're coming to a point, I think, where how fast you really need to go. I mean, if you can go 300 miles in your car now, miles per hour in your car nowadays, really it's a bragging point, but there's no place you can go 300 miles an hour, and it could only get into a world of trouble. I'm not saying that they shouldn't make them, but I think that eventually it's going to be seen as ridiculous, I mean, especially if you have a wife and kids. Well, wife particularly, they don't understand cars all that much, I mean, like you be this big successful guy, and they're like, why do you have to have all these jerky toy cars? It doesn't impress them, but the Speedtail would say that that you're not ostentatious, at least. I mean, just buying a car like this, of course, is ostentatious, but you don't have to have it all winged and decked out just in case nobody notices. I mean, it's Mick Jagger might own a car like this. I mean, I have no idea how much it costs, but it might cost close to $1 million. I don't think any car is worth $1 million. I think that a Toyota Corolla or Honda Civic gives you 95% of what this car gives you. This one just gives you state-of-the-art, bolstered to an extreme. That said, it's in my collection. I like it, and I have it on permanent display so far. And I'd give you a ride in this, but I really don't want to because I have to sit in the middle, and you guys sit on my left and right side. I'd feel trapped. I mean, what if you got funny with me? I couldn't just open the door and bail out. So, if you want to drive a ride in this car, you better do what I did and get your own. I mean, this would be, of course, a tight fit for most people, but the imagination will get you into just about anything. So here we are. We're at the end of this video. Thank you for visiting Dave's Garage, and I hope you come back next week. Have a good day.